All right, everyone. I'm here to talk to you about a super awesome API called Shippo that I have used. I used it to build a way for my sister on her website that she sells baby bows for. I used it to make it so that she can print labels right on the website so that she can easily print them and ship them off to her customers. I'm going to talk about that today. So first off, what's great about Shippo is it doesn't charge you at all just to make an account and use the API. It only charges you when you actually make a real request for a label. So if you're only doing test requests, it's not going to charge you. So feel free to log in or sign up. And when you sign up, you just fill out the information in this form and you're good to go. I've made an account already, so I'll go ahead and log in. And after you've made an account or whenever you log in, you'll probably see this screen here. Don't worry about this. This is just Shippo has other integrations that you could do with like certain e-commerce websites so that you can easily connect it to your inventory and stuff like that. But what we'll do is just configure the account later and go straight to the dashboard. So on the dashboard, this is just their online system where you can actually create a shipment straight from here. You don't necessarily have to use the API. So for some business owners that aren't necessarily technical and want to do a quick shipment that's not hooked up to their system, they can use this. And they can also get refunds and things like that. But what we're going to quickly go over is the carriers option here. Shippo has a wide variety of carriers that they integrate with. They set up these default accounts for you. If you want to add a specific account, you can go here and you can see like if you have a specific account with FedEx, you can set that up along with like UPS and all these other international carriers. So what we'll be doing is we'll use the USPS account. So what you should do is put it into test mode. All you do is go to edit here and activate test mode. That way, if you accidentally use your real API key and not the test, you should be okay. It's going to make it so it's just extra safe, so you make sure you're not going to spend any money you don't want to. Also, on this page here, the API page, this is where you actually get your tokens. Don't think about taking my tokens because obviously I can reset them right after this video. So what we're going to use is the test token so that you can make your test labels. So one more thing, Shippo has some really good documentations, /docs, I believe. Shippo.com/docs has the very first API shipment label you can do. They kind of have some good tutorials to go through. The thing that I used on my sister's site and that we're going to go over is the single call label creation. So feel free to follow along in this page as we go through it. But yeah, so it's super easy and I can't wait to show you guys. Okay, so before we get started, I want to talk about the different client libraries you can use with Shippo. So I'm going to use in my example, I'm going to use Python. It's just easy. It's what I originally used. I originally used it with Django to make for my sister's site. I even made a full example that we could use in my demonstration, but it kind of got a little messy because of the fact that normally I would save the shipping URL and the label URL in the database, and I don't want to get into that too much complexity just to do a simple example. So what we're going to do is we're going to just make it in a script that you could essentially just copy and paste into a different project of whatever you need to do. So, but yeah, there's tons of different libraries you can, different languages you can use Shippo with. So let's get started on the single label call label creation. So as you can see here, there's all these different things we need to have. So we need an address from, address to, parcel, and then with the shipment, we're going to put all those together and then we create a transaction. So let's get started. So here on the top line, what we need to do first is import Shippo. And then that way we have the Shippo library in the script, and then we can just do Shippo API key, and then we want to grab our key from here, right? So grab the key, and then from there we can start putting in the address from and address to. So I'm gonna do some copying and pasting to make this a little bit faster, but go ahead and pause if you want to just go through the example and type it all in. So we get the address from, we're going to do it to Steve Jobs. Or we're going to do it from Steve Jobs, in other words, I guess. And then we're going to have Steve Jobs ship a package to Bill Gates, some random place in Washington. I don't even know where that is, but that's what we're going to have there. Then we need to get a parcel. For the sake of this example, I'm just going to put all of the dimensions at 5. Because I don't really know what size package we're going to do, but you can see here the distance unit and mass unit are important because that tells Shippo what units you're using to set the length, width, height, and weight. So I have here as inches and ounces, but Shippo tells you what other options there are in their documentation. So that's what we're going to put here, though. Then we need to grab the shipment dictionary, and what that does is just puts address from, address to, and parcels into a dictionary in of itself. What's important to know is parcels here means multiple, so you can actually put multiple packages on a shipment, and that's why there's an array. You need to put it as array. So I put parcel into the array here, and that way it'll work. So that's important to know as well. So the last thing here, it shows us on here that we need to create a transaction. It's pretty simple. So we just need to use this shippo.transaction.create method here. First, let's make sure we do transaction. We could really call it whatever we wanted, but that's what we'll call it. So then what we need to do is let's do shipment is what our first thing here on here is. Shipment equals shipment. Sweet. Then we need carrier account. So the carrier account's interesting. What it wants is it wants a specific object ID that comes from the carriers in Shippo's system. They don't really have a way to find it on their dashboard here, which I find kind of weird, or at least I haven't found a way to find it. So what I've done in the past is gone into here and done it in the Python console. So this is how I find it, and then we can, use it. So let's do that. So we can know what your specific object ID is. So import Shippo, and then shippo.api key equals, and then we'll grab it from here. Paste, and we need quotes around that. So let's go back, nice and slow. Okay, and then all you have to do is call dot carrier account dot all. Sweet. So this gives us all of our different carrier accounts. So you can see, remember when we went into the dashboard, we saw Shippo USPS account. Well, here's the object ID for it, and that's what you want. So let's copy that, and let's go and paste it down in our carrier account, and make sure we put a comma here. And then lastly, there's this thing called service level token, and that you can see here, that's what they have here. Actually, let's just copy this whole line. So service level token, what it does is they have different, each carrier has different levels of service. So there's USPS priority or first class. These are just their tokens that define which one you're wanting to create the transaction for. So they have them all defined on their documentation. So go ahead and take a look if you wanted to do something different. But that's what we're going to do. We're just going to do priority mail. Okay. So last but not least, we want to just say, okay, if transaction dot status, I believe it's status, if we go back, yes, status, if it equals success. Success, then we want to show that basically success lets us know it actually worked. It wouldn't be success if it failed, obviously. So let's do print tracking URL. That's transaction dot provider. I believe it's provider tracking URL provider. Cool. So we grab that. Okay, and then copy, paste. Then we want shipping label URL. Sweet, and then that is just label underscore URL. Fantastic. So let us go back here. But you know what, actually, let's go back. I have a feeling that this address is going to probably return an error of some sort. So let's go. I found a better address here. So let's pop that in there. Yeah, okay, cool. This is the address of their visitor center at Microsoft. So let's go ahead and pop that in there, and that should work well. So let's go back now and run it. So it's Python Shippo example.py. And boom. Okay, so we have the tracking URL and the shipping label URL. Sweet. So let's go ahead and just copy that. And we'll go over here and let's open up a new tab. And since it's an example, it's not going to like it, but that's essentially what a customer would see if they clicked on that URL. So kind of cool there. Let's grab the URL for the shipping label. And as you can see, it brings up a label for you. Kind of cool, huh? So if you save those in your database, you can bring them back out and use them to print off. So you can see Steve Jobs, boom, boom, Bill Gates. Kind of cool. So that's kind of just a high-level overview of how to use Shippo. And I think it'll come in handy if you make sites for people with their website for e-commerce or anything like that, or variety of other reasons. But I think this will come in handy. So good luck. Thanks.